Welcome back to Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen with offices in Houston, Texas. Today I'm going to discuss how to adopt your stepchild in the state of Texas. Remember, adoption laws vary from state to state. For this reason, if your stepchild does not reside in Texas, this video is not the right video for you. Now, if your stepchild does live in Texas and you want to legally adopt a child, this adoption process involves two main steps. The first step is to terminate the birth parent's rights to the child. This is known as the termination stage of the proceedings. The second step is formally to adopt the child. The reason why I want to make this video today is because the adoption process can be very tedious. One wrong step and it's going to lead to a lot of headache and delay. By making this video, hopefully you will have an idea of how many steps there are and what is involved in each step. Hopefully this video will give you some assurances that the case is progressing the way that it should be progressing. The first step is a little complicated because it depends on the facts of your case. If the other biological parent's name is on the birth certificate, then it's very easy. You can immediately file a petition for termination and adoption of the stepchild. However, if the other biological parent's name is not on the birth certificate, then you would first have to file a petition to adjudicate parentage. This way, the other party can accept or deny being the child's biological parent and having all of the parental rights in the child. Additionally, if your spouse filed paperwork or had a child support order in another country, you may have to file a notice of registration of a foreign order before you can do anything. As you can see, the adoption process can get very sticky and complicated if you don't go through an experienced attorney. In today's video, we will just discuss the adoption process when the other biological parent's name is on the birth certificate and they agree to the adoption. I consider this to be a very straightforward adoption. The second step is that you want to file a motion for an amicus attorney and a motion for social study and other orders which may be required by your locality. The motion for an amicus attorney is a tool that the courts use to protect the child. Someone has to represent the child, and this is what the amicus attorney is there for. Their job is to make sure that all the right steps are taken to ensure that the adoption is legal and that it's in the best interest of the child to be adopted by the new parent. Meanwhile, the social study, otherwise known as an adoption evaluation, is usually performed by a government entity and used to determine if the person wants to be adopted is qualified to adopt. The case study usually involves a final report which includes the person's living conditions, their employment history, educational background, parental styles, and availability of other family members who would regularly interact with the child. It normally will cost about $250 to $300. The third step is that the court will actually assign the amicus attorney. The amicus attorney will send you a letter asking for a deposit, since you will be paying for their fees as well. Usually the deposit is about $1,000, even though the final fee is a few $1,000s, depending on the complexity of the case. After you pay for the amicus attorney, they will send or file a letter which is called an original answer with the court, which looks very scary if you're not familiar with the process. It will be numbered, and the first number on the form will state something like, "Amicus attorney hereby enters a general denial." This looks very scary, but it's just procedural. The amicus attorney has to state this because they haven't reviewed the facts of the case yet, and they can't make a decision on whether or not the new parent is qualified. The fourth step is that the government agency will send you a letter concerning a social study. The social study provider will ask you to pay a fee for the social study. Again, it's usually about $250 to $300. The fourth step is that the court will require the parent that wants to be the adopted parent to complete a criminal background check, and usually there is a small fee to do this check. The sixth step is that if the criminal background check comes back clear and the amicus attorney reviews the social study and the other legal forms and determines that everything is in order, the next step will be to file a voluntary relinquishment of parental rights with the court by the other biological parent. The seventh step is to file an order terminating parental rights and granting an adoption of the stepchild. This document is usually signed by the new parent and his or her spouse, and it notifies the court that all of the legal steps have been taken and asks the court to finalize the adoption. The last step is to go to court to finalize the adoption, and this is when the judge will review all the paperwork one more time, talk to the amicus attorney, ask them questions about the case, and hopefully sign the previously filed order of termination of parental rights and the granting of an adoption of the stepchild. Hopefully, if you are considering adopting your stepchild, you found this video helpful. And if you're currently going through the adoption process or have already done it, please feel free to share your tips and comments below. I'm sure that your experience will help others in your same situation. Again, thank you for watching Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen, and we hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.
At David Nguyen's Law Office, we are here to help you. We bring families together through immigration. And on the other hand, we help you find solutions. All your legal needs in the hands of people who care, who are there for you. We'll take care of your loved ones at the Law Office of David.